Hello students. Today we will discuss about the respiratory system, the second system of life process. This is for saving the time. I already made this system. You also must practice that. So this is the respiratory system of human. First we will know the parts and then we will move into the parts and understand their functions. First of all, this is the nasal cavity. This is the nasal cavity. Remember that. Above the mouth there is a nose. Nose have two openings or cavities called as nostrils. So this is basically nostrils. Detail of nostril we will understand. First part is nostrils and separating. This is the separating cartilage or bony palate, which is separating the two openings of the nose, and this is called as bony palate. Bony palate. Although it is cartilaginous, but it is named as bony palate. And this, you know that this is a buccal cavity. Now the posterior portion, this is the posterior portion actually, which is called as pharynx. It is called as pharynx. Okay, nasal cavities or nostrils open posteriorly into the pharynx, and pharynx opens. This pharynx further opens from here. I have not made it, but there is esophagus also come from here and move towards the posterior side of the body, and like this. And this is the trachea which is moving. Okay, this is the trachea. Pharynx opens into the common opening of trachea as esophagus. Remember that. And it actually opens into extension of trachea. Extension of trachea, that is called as a larynx. Okay, larynx being given many names, we'll understand them also. And it is also called as a speech box because it is the part which produces the speech. And then further it goes into the trachea. Trachea. Larynx further goes into tubular structure called as trachea. Trachea is holded by C-shaped cartilage. These are the cartilages which are present. C-shape cartilage. These are holding the trachea. Then trachea splits up into two branches. Each branch is called as bronchus. Each branch is called as bronchus. Each bronchus enters into each of the lung. For further to enhance these two branches of the trachea, which are called a bronchus, bronchus of the right side is little smaller and left side is little longer. Remember that. These bronchus are also being holded by the C-shaped cartilage. Inside bronchus goes and multiple time divides to produce primary, secondary and tertiary bronchioles. Let us understand them also by making another diagram. If suppose this is the diagram of the lung. If suppose this is a diagram of the lung and the bronchus is entering into it. Bronchus is entering into it. It divides. Right? It further divides. This further divides and again divide. Right? To produces this is primary bronchiole, this is secondary and this is tertiary bronchiole. Let's write them. This is the bronchus, first divide to produce primary bronchiole. Primary bronchiole. And then it further divides to produce secondary bronchiole. Secondary bronchiole. And further it divides to produce tertiary or terminal. Tertiary or terminal bronchiole. Terminal bronchiole. It is occurring inside the lungs. Remember that. Okay. At the end of these bronchioles, it develops what? It develops sac-like structure. It develops sac-like structure. These sac-like structures are called alveolar sac. These are called alveolar sac. These are alveolar sac. Alveolar sacs, and these contains large number of very thin alveoli. We'll discuss alveoli in details also. First, just to know every part of respiratory system. So these are alveoli are present. Alveoli. There are about 300 million alveoli which are present in both the lungs. This much of the large number of alveoli is actually to increase the surface area. You remember, any organism which is having respiratory system always have larger surface area, first property. Second, and this always is surrounded by a lot of blood capillaries to diffuse the gases into the blood very easily. These are two basic properties, large surface area and surrounded by blood capillaries. Now, this is the inside structure of the lungs. Now come outside. Now, outside there is covering. Outside the lungs there is a covering called as pleura. Pleura is the covering of the lungs, protective covering you can say. P is silent, so it is called as, not called as a pleura, it is called as a pleura. Pleura actually is a two membrane structure. The outer one is called a parietal pleura. Parietal pleura. And the inner one is called, this bluish color I made, it is called visceral pleura. Viscera means internal organ. The membrane which is close to the lungs means viscera. Internal organ is called visceral pleura. Now remember that in between these two there is a lot of fluid structure is present. Parietal and visceral pleura contains what? It contains fluid called as pleural fluid. This fluid in between the parietal pleura and visceral pleura is pleural fluid. Pleural fluid. What the function of this pleural fluid? It actually gives smooth movement to the lungs and also always maintain the moisture of the lungs. So it moistens the lungs so that smooth movement can come. This pleura also protect the lungs from any mechanical injury also. At the base, we see these lungs are actually broadened on the base and pointed, more or less pointed on the edges, on the upper or anterior end. This broader end of the lungs are actually resting upon the muscular sheath called as diaphragm. Diaphragm, you remember that diaphragm separates the thoracic cavity with the abdominal cavity. So actually the lungs are present in the chest cavity or thoracic cavity. Remember that. So these are the basic parts of the respiratory system. To know every part's function, first work is to know only the parts of the respiratory system. Correct? Then one by one we'll be going into each of the part and discussing about their functions and specialized properties about it. Let's go into the nostrils. So first part is nostrils. Above the mouth there is nose, and in the nose there is a two cavity structure is present. Cavity is separated by the bony palate. These are called nostrils. So in the nostrils, two basic structures are present. One is here, the other is mucus. Now mucus always is secreted by the epithelial, mucus epithelial, right? It also contains an enzyme called as a lysozyme. Lysozyme. This already you have studied in buccal cavity. Saliva also contains lysozyme. These are bactericidal in nature. What do you mean by bactericidal? It kills the bacteria. So nostrils first have here, then mucus which is secreted by epithelial lining. and here separate dust particles from breathing air. And which these dust particles which are separated by hair they get stick to the mucus. This way clean air enters into the pharynx region from the nostril. And that is the reason why it is always suggested to us to take the breath from the nostrils. Remember that. If question comes why it is suggested us to take the breath from the nostrils, because of the hair and mucus, they separate the dust particles, clean air present. You see, in the nostrils and the posterior pharynx part, also, there are blood capillaries which are present. A lot of blood capillaries are present. What is the function of these blood capillaries? Starting from the posterior end of the nostrils and leading to the pharynx. Now, when suppose season is very cold, so cold air will enter into the nostrils. Now, very cold air should not enter into our body parts, because we are warm-blooded. We have to maintain the body temperature. When a very cold air is entering, what happens? These blood capillaries actually gives heat to this particular cold air which is taken from the nostrils and maintain its temperature according to the body temperature. And if very hot air is breath is taken from the nostrils, then these blood capillaries absorb the heat from the air, makes the air a little according to the body temperature. So you can say blood capillaries rising from the nostrils and leading to the pharynx actually works like AC. AC means which actually maintains the temperature which we are using in the homes also. So remember this, these are the functions of the nostrils. Now pharynx can be further. This pharynx can be which is starting from nostril. This is nostrils, the posteriorly. This pharynx part can be differentiated into oropharynx. What is oropharynx? Oropharynx, a pharynx which is connected to the oral cavity. This is the oral cavity. Sorry, we have labeled this. This is a nasal part, so it is called as a nasopharynx. The pharynx which is connected to the oral cavity, and it is called as oropharynx. And the pharynx which is going to open into the trachea, which opens into the trachea, is called laryngopharynx. It is called as a laryngopharynx. So we can differentiate different pharynx, but the basic function is pharynx actually is a connection of a nasal cavity or oral cavity into the trachea. But it also have, along with the posterior part of the nostrils, it also have blood capillaries which works like AC, which change the temperature of the air which is entering from the breath. Now, this is the basic trachea, pharynx, which is opening into the trachea. It is opening into the larynx. We have discussed about the larynx. Larynx, in men, larynx is in the neck, it is coming out, it is protruded out in the neck. So that is why it is also named as Adam's apple. Adam's apple. And it's also called as a speech box. Speech box. Why it is called speech box? In the larynx, in the larynx region, see, if this is the larynx region, there are two pairs of vocal cords. One is the posterior pair, one is the anterior pair. Vocal cords, cord-like structure. Posterior vocal cords, which are vestigial, not working. Anterior vocal cords are working. It vibrates to produce speech. So that is why it is also called as a speech box. But for making a proper speech, we need a work of tongue. We also need lips movement. But basically, the words are being produced by the anterior vocal cords present in the larynx. So this through the pharynx opens to the larynx, which already we have explained. Now larynx then further enters into about 8 to 12 centimeter long, 8 to 12 centimeter long tubular structure, which we call as trachea. This is the trachea, about 8 to 12 centimeter long, right? And it is about 2 to 3 centimeter broad in width also. This trachea is holded by C-shaped cartilage. These are hairline cartilage. Now, why these are being holded? Trachea is just like a pipe. So, if the air is not present in the trachea, it should not get collapsed, right? That will be a death of a person. So, these C-shaped cartilage which are holding the trachea do not allow the trachea to collapse even though there is no air present in it. These cartilages are also present in the bronchia. The same is the function in that case. So this trachea further extends up to 12 centimeter and then splits up into bronchus. Now, this trachea and bronchus, they are also being lined internally by mucous epithelial. So they are producing mucus also. Now, trachea splits up into two bronchus. Each bronchus enters into each of the lung. Like left lung is a smaller in size as compared to the right lung. It is having a notch-like structure of empty space, which is called as cardiac notch. This is a cardiac notch. Cardiac notch, why? Because heart is present in this notch. So it is called as cardiac notch. Cardiac notch. Okay, and it is smaller. This left lung is of 2 lobes. Only 2 lobes are present. But right lung is of 3 lobes, so little larger in size. Okay, now we already have explained the lung inside. Bronchus further splits up into bronchioles, primary, secondary, and tertiary. At the end of the terminal or tertiary bronchiole, there are alveolar sac. Inside the alveolar sac, there are alveoles. Structures are present. Alveoles are very thin. These alveoles, let's talk about alveoles also. Alveoles in the alveolar sac. If this is a alveoli, let's talk. It is having polyhedral structure cells also present. Polyhedral structure cells. Single cell structure is present lining this, right? Which contains a surfactant. Which contains a surfactant. It is a complex protein. Basically, it is a complex protein which is called as a dipamethyl lecithin. Dipamethyl lecithin. Actually, it is a complex protein structure which is working like a surfactant. Let us understand what is surfactant. So, alveolar sac contains alveoli. Inside the alveoli, there is a polyhedral cell. Single layer of cells are present, which are in direct contact with the blood capillaries surrounding it. Lot of blood capillaries are surrounding this alveoli outside. These cells, polyhedral cells, are in direct contact with the blood capillaries surrounding the alveoli. But these cells also secrete dipamethyl lecithin. This is although a complex protein but act like a surfactant. Surfactant means it always make the surface of the alveoli open. Open means away from each other's wall. So it should be open for gaseous exchange. The gases like oxygen is given to the blood and carbon dioxide is taken back. So oxygen given into the blood and carbon dioxide is taken, which actually we exhale out. So alveoli is the site where basically the gaseous exchange take place. Remember that. Now, already we have discussed alveolar and the diaphragm. By the contraction of diaphragm on the other side, on the left side and the right side is connected to the intercostal muscles also. Right? Intercostal muscles. Diaphragm and intercostal muscles together contract and expand by contraction and expansion of diaphragm and intercostal muscles surrounding the lungs, actually breathing process take place. Okay. So from starting from the nostrils, first of all we should know all the parts, then small functions we should know every part's function. I hope it is clear to you. If any problem, please give your problems into the column. Thank you very much.